So, are you an Austinite? Are you from here?
I'm from Virginia.
So how did you come to be here?
I grew up in Northern Virginia, and I moved out of there as soon as possible. Went to school in Richmond, Virginia at VCU, where I got my BFA, and then started applying to graduate schools. Austin was always a place I had been to, so I got accepted to the MFA program in 2005, moved down here, and have stayed ever since.
Nice. And your studio, we're in Jules' studio, and it's on the east side off of Cesar Chavez. And how did you come to be in this neighborhood?
I live really close to here, and I live on a little property that has a bunch of artist studios, and I literally grew out of my old studio. I had half of my belongings were in the yard getting rained on and obstructing, pathways. So me and a couple friends who were looking for a larger space started looking around, and a friend of mine owns this building or subleases it, and so this place was available, and we moved in. It was full of garbage, and it was sort of a you can take it as is. So we spent a couple months cleaning it out, huge dumpsters full of trash, and then we got to build it out to our specs and made it to what it is now. Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about your medium and your process to making that?
Yeah, primarily I work with watercolors and inks. I feel in terms of painting versus drawing, I really feel my strengths are in drawing. And so different paint mediums like watercolor and ink seem more conducive to like the drawer. So all my work's on paper and uses a variety of sort of the transparent watercolors, kind of graphite and opaque ink washes and line work. And I use those to varying degrees. Some of my work is a little more illustrative, and I feel that's pretty conducive with the imagery of nature, because it's somewhat how harnesses up thoughts of other naturalist watercolor painters. And then other works that are a little more heavy on the ink side of things become a little more opaque and congested and abstract. So I feel like using those two water medias gives me like a nice range and a nice spectrum of voices that I can work from. Like all the imagery in the paintings are coming from books or posters, or National Geographics or other nature periodicals where I can find like a plethora of imagery readily. I do spend time outdoors a lot too, and trying to capture certain things from direct observation. But usually I find like animals are less cooperative when you're ready to paint them. They're always a fleeting subject matter. But I surround myself with animal imagery, I find, sort of intuitively, and I use that work that does come out into my paintings. There's something about animal imagery I just like to see and I like to create. So it is part of the creative. It feeds the creative part, but also is something that I like to surround myself with. Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit about this? What's going on here?
Yeah, this is part of a larger project, a project that's funded by the City of Austin. This will be a theatrical performance that is highlighting endangered species of Texas. So it'll be a mobile theater that I'm building, and we will take it around. There'll be 5 major ecosystems of Texas that these backdrops will go through. We'll do the high deserts, the grassy plains, the marsh, underground caves, and the piney forest. And within each setting, I'll be making costumes and puppets to act out different animal behaviors of different species particular to Texas. And some of those will be critically endangered or endangered to some degree. And the idea is to then hopefully connect our audience emotionally or intellectually with these endangered species to raise some sort of spirit of conservation.
Cool. And my last question is, you have all of your animals in all of your pictures, and if you could bring any of your pictures to life and have that...
To life? Yeah, probably not my giant crocodiles. just because it seems like that would be a hassle. I'd have to say I've hung out with some flamingos recently, and I've also made some flamingo work, and I think I'd either bring my two-headed flamingo to life.
Very Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderlandy, or perhaps a pelican.